The soldier's coat is green. His trousers are vermilion. His face is pink, and the pupils of his eyes have been painted with a brush, finer than a needle. A man kneels beside him in the lamplight, 30 meters below the wheat fields of Shanxi, setting him upright in a corridor of packed earth. The air smells of wet clay, pine smoke, and lacquer. Above, thousands of wooden rammers strike soil over and over like a slow heartbeat under the province. It is the autumn of 210 BC. The soldier will stand in the dark for the next 2,183 years. Everyone knows the clay army. 8,000 figures in rows outside the city of Jian. Almost nobody asks the harder question, what are they guarding? Beneath the mound they face lies a sealed chamber, surveyed, scanned, mapped, and measured, and never entered. What is inside is not a mystery because we cannot reach it. It is a mystery because we have chosen not to look. And the reason is stranger than anything the legends promise. His name was Ying Zheng. He was born in 259 BC and became king of the state of Qin at 13. In that same year, 246 BC, the first shovels went into the ground at Mount Li. He was still a boy. His tomb was already under construction. 25 years later, he did what no one had done. He swallowed the 6 rival kingdoms one by one, and in 221 BC, he stood over a single country for the first time in Chinese history. He refused the old title of king. He invented a new one, Shi Huangdi, first emperor. Then he standardized everything. One script, one set of weights, one legal code. Even the axles of carts were fixed to a single width, so every wheel in the empire ran in the same ruts. The grand historian, Sima Qian, writing a century later, records that 700,000 conscripted men were sent to Mount Li. The work continued for 38 years. He was building a country, and underneath it, quietly, he was building a second one. The burial mound still stands today, a flattened pyramid of rammed earth 76 meters high, worn down by rain over 22 centuries. 2 walls once enclosed it, an inner circuit of 2.5 kilometers, an outer circuit of 6.3. The full necropolis covers roughly 56 square kilometers. It is not a grave, it is a district, and the men who built it left their names. Foreman's signatures are stamped into the clay of the figures themselves, a quality control system, so a cracked shoulder could be traced back to a workshop, and the workshop to a man. Nobody knew the army was there. Then came the drought. On the 23rd of March, 1974, in the village of Xiang, a farmer named Yang Jifa and his brothers began digging a well. At about 15 meters down, the spade struck something that was not stone, a head, then a bronze arrowhead, still sharp. What they had opened was Pit 1, roughly 6,000 infantry standing in 11 parallel corridors, and more than 40,000 bronze arrowheads. Almost every face is different. Different cheekbones, different ears, different beards. None of them portrays anyone we can name. Stand in that pit in summer, and what you notice first is the dust. Fine, pale loess, dry as flour, hanging in the light. It is the smell of the whole site, but the army is only the outer wall of something larger, Autor. And this is where the tomb stops making sense as a tomb. In 1999, in a pit cataloged as K9901, archaeologists found something with no armor and no weapons. Acrobats. Bare-chested strongmen, one of them more than 2 meters tall, with mottled bellies. Beside them, a bronze cauldron weighing 212 kilograms. Heavy enough that lifting it was itself the performance. In August of the year 2000, in pit K0007, a watercourse lined with bronze birds. 46 of them, 6 cranes, 20 swans, 20 wild geese. One crane holds a bronze worm in its beak. Around them, 15 terracotta musicians, hands raised around instruments that rotted away long ago. Soldiers, civil servants, stablemen, acrobats, musicians, waterfowl on an artificial river. This is not a memorial. It is a functioning state, cast in clay and bronze, the Second Empire. Not an image of his reign, but a working copy of it, staffed and provisioned, waiting underground for its emperor to arrive and resume governing. Which brings us to the chamber itself. Sima Qian describes the interior in a few restrained lines. A ceiling set with the heavenly bodies, a floor mapped as the empire below, and running through it, mercury, worked by machinery to imitate the 100 rivers, the Yangtze, the Yellow River, and the Great Sea flowing without end. For most of the 20th century, this was read as literary decoration. Then somebody measured the soil. A survey published in 1983 found mercury in the ground above the chamber, averaging 205 parts per billion, peaking at 1,440. Many times the natural background, and concentrated in the center of the mound. In 2020, a team using laser radar measured mercury vapor in the open air above the mound at around 25 nanograms per cubic meter, against a local background of 5 to 10. The tomb is still exhaling. Here is the part that unsettles. We could open it. The engineering is not the obstacle. The obstacle is a lesson learned in a different tomb, and learned badly. Between 1956 and 1958, Chinese archaeologists opened the Dingling, the underground palace of the Ming Emperor Wanli. Silks that had survived 3 centuries in sealed air blackened and crumbled within hours of exposure. There was no method to save them. It is now taught as one of the discipline's great cautionary failures. The clay soldiers taught it again. In miniature, every figure was originally painted over a ground layer of key lacquer. When that lacquer meets dry open air, it shrinks and lifts away from the ceramic. In the earliest digs, color flaked off in minutes. The gray army in every photograph is not the army the Qin built. It is the damage. So the chamber stays shut. Ground radar and magnetometry have outlined a rectangular space roughly 80 meters by 50, with a stepped structure of rammed earth about 30 meters high, raised directly above it. Reported in 2007, and read by the archaeologist Liu Xingzhu as a passage for the emperor's spirit. Everything we know about that room, we know without going in. You still live inside his decisions, the serial number on the underside of a machine part, the inspection sticker with an initial on it, the idea that a component made in one factory must fit a device assembled in another, that a nation should agree on what a meter is and how a word is spelled. Ying Zheng did not invent standardization, but he was the first to impose it on a landmass by force in a single lifetime, and he enforced it with a name pressed into wet clay. 36,000 wooden slips recovered from a well at Liye in Hunan carry his orders out to the furthest villages of the empire. Among them, a decree commanding a nationwide search for the elixir of eternal life and the replies coming back. One county reported nothing found yet. Another sent a herb from a local mountain. He never found it. He died in 210 BC on the road, far from his capital. His ministers packed the carts with dried fish, so the smell of the body would not betray them before they reached home. And then they put him in the ground, under a mountain, behind a sealed door, in the center of a country built to last forever. 2,200 years later, the most advanced archaeology on Earth stands over that door with every instrument it owns, and refuses to open it. He is the only ruler in human history whose final order is still being obeyed.